Episode 10, Design, Drains, Waste, Vents. Minnesota uses the Universal Plumbing Code, UPC. It is listed below in the comments. It specifies cleanouts, vent placement, types of tees, pipe diameters, island venting, pipe slope, dry versus wet vent, etc. There is also a good video on how to add a lift station to your design. That is also listed in the notes, in addition to a number of good YouTube videos. They're listed below. One of them, 10 ways to fail a plumbing inspection, and another, 10 beginner mistakes when doing your own plumbing, were very instructional. In addition, the code specifies the drain sizing. This code uses fixture units to determine the size of drainage piping. This is essentially how much water will the fixture discharge. You can see in this table the number of units per fixture and the associated drainage trap pipe diameter. Here is a table with my fixtures specified. The fixtures that drain through the A piping add to 9 fixture units, B is 2, C is 6 fixture units. All of the units combined are 23 fixture units. Note, the initial drain trap size might be smaller than the subsequent drain to the sewer. We then move to this table that specifies drainage pipe diameter, max length, and vent pipe diameter as a function of fixture units. We need to take the larger drain from either the fixture table or the unit loading table. Individually, A has 9 fixture units, one of which is a water closet, a toilet, resulting in a 3-inch drain pipe. B is simply the kitchen sink dishwasher with 2 fixture units, so it has a 2-inch drain. C is only 6 units, which would normally be a 2-inch pipe, but since there's a water closet on the line, this drives us to a 3-inch pipe. The other 3, B, C, and basement, were 2, 6, and 6, which drives us to a 2-inch pipe for each of those. Note, even though there's a water closet in the basement, this only requires a 3-inch drain until I get to the lift station. The lift station then only requires a 2-inch discharge drain. Since a home has only a total of 23 fixture units, that drives us to a 3-inch drainage pipe once all the drains are combined. This also then results in a max horizontal length of 212 feet, much longer than I would ever need. To reiterate, I would need the following drainage pipes: 3-inch diameter, main drain to the sewer, and all toilets; 2-inch diameter, kitchen to sewer, shower, from lift station to the sewer, basement piping underground. No portion of the gravity drainage system installed underground shall be less than 2 inches in diameter. 1.5-inch diameter, from kitchen sink to the 2-inch downpipe to sewer and the washing machine. In addition, the code specifies that T's on the drain pipe angle from level to down. For slope, horizontal drain pipes slope as a function of pipe diameter. Less than 3-inch diameter, 1/4 inch per foot. 3-inch to 6-inch diameter, 1/8 inch per foot. You are allowed 5 degrees per fitting off of vertical. For pass-through holes, use a 2 9/16 inch drill bit for a 2-inch pipe. This allows for pipe outer diameters of 2.375 or 2 3/8 inch. Observe these guidelines for boring through beams. Some other notes and comments. Drain tees have to be mounted vertically, not horizontally. Sand tee is a sanitary tee. It has a directional swoop in it, not just a 90-degree entry. Street fittings are male and female. Normal fittings are female-female. Use a deburring tool on all your PVC pipes. Code states that a 3-inch drain minimum is required if you have 2 water closets, but that a 4-inch drain minimum is required if you have 3 water closets. Well, we have 3 water closets, but only a 3-inch drain. How can that be legal? As mentioned above, one of our water closets does a magic trick, turns into something else. Yep, it becomes part of the sewage pump system, which is not a water closet. This now allows for a 3-inch main drain in the house. Code also states, no building sewer shall be less than 4 inches in diameter. This is the septic piping outside of the house. Definitions. Building drain means that part of the lowest piping of the drainage system which receives the discharge from soil, waste, and other drainage pipes inside the walls of the building and conveys it to the building sewer, beginning at least 1 foot outside of the building footings. Building sewer means that part of the drainage system which extends from the end of the building drain and conveys its discharge to the public sewer, private sewer, individual sewage disposal system, or other point of disposal. Note, from above, this is 1 foot outside the foundation. Some other notes and observations. Check out the reducing 4-inch to 3-inch closet bend above. It's 4 inches at the inlet of the fitting and 3 inches on the outlet. The plumbing code never allows a drain to be reduced in size in the direction of flow, with one exception, 704.2. The plumbing code does not consider a 4 to 3 closet connection for a toilet as a reduction in size. Toilet placement in the bathroom. Toilets need to be set between joists. The drain is 12 inches from the wall, 15 inches minimum required from sidewalls. Drain is 3-inch PVC DWV pipe with a 3.5-inch outer diameter. Since my house septic discharge is higher than my basement floor, I require a lift station sewage pump to lift the basement drain into the septic drain. Minnesota Code 4715.2440 covers design of sumps. Uses a 2-inch pipe to lift the sewage. I bought a sewage pump. 2 options on pumps, a grinder pump or a sewage pump. Generally, folks just need a sewage pump. A grinder pump has a large cutter wheel on the bottom, has a smaller outlet, meant for high head application, 4 times more expensive than a sewage pump. Blades will dull with bad things going through them, prone to clogging with stringy materials, and lasts less long than a sewage pump. Flushable wipes will clog a sewage pump, but will go through a grinder pump no problem. The sewage pump discharge requires pressure-rated piping, not DWV piping. The red-lettered 2-inch pipe is dual-use, pressurized and non-pressurized. It also needs a gate valve on and off so as to service the pump if needed. This will stop flow from above. I bought a Zoller 30-0151. The sewage pump assembly will also need sewage eject basin, 18 inches by 30 inches, and lid into which to place the pump. I purchased a Zoller 912-0007 4/10 horsepower cast iron pre-assembled sewage pump system, 2 inches. Now let's talk about cleanouts. They're covered in UPC 707.0 cleanouts. First, an accessible trap is considered a cleanout for the fixture branch serving the individual fixture. That's in Minnesota Code 4715-0970. That would include the kitchen sink drain. It is required on the island kitchen vent because it has a drain on it. It is not required on each lav sink drain since they have accessible traps, but a cleanout is easy to install and surely makes things nice. Cleanouts are required where the pipe leaves the house for the septic. Use a Y branch. Cleanouts are also required at the start of each horizontal main drain run. These are my bathroom cleanouts. I designed the following placement of cleanouts: in the basement, in the closet of bedroom 5, extended from the toilet in the next room, in the master bath, in front of the dryer in the laundry room, and in the shared bath, in the closet of bedroom 2. Where you need cleanouts. Each horizontal drainage pipe shall be provided with a cleanout at its upper terminal. An additional cleanout shall be provided in a drainage line for each aggregate horizontal change of direction exceeding 135 degrees. Cleanouts shall be permitted to be omitted on a horizontal drain line less than 5 feet in length unless such line is serving sinks. Excepting the building drain and its horizontal branches, a cleanout shall not be required on any pipe or piping that is above the floor level of the lowest floor of the building. What type of plugs and connections on the cleanouts? Plugs shall have raised square heads or approved countersunk rectangular slots. Countersunk cleanout plugs shall be installed where raised heads cause a hazard. How to install. Each cleanout, unless installed under an approved cover plate, shall be above grade, readily accessible, and so located as to serve the purpose for which it is intended. Cleanouts located under cover plates shall be so installed so as to provide clearances and accessibilities required by this section. Each cleanout shall be installed so that it opens to allow cleaning in the direction of flow of the soil or waste, or at right angles thereto, and, except in the case of a Y branch and end-of-line cleanouts, shall be installed vertically above the flow line of the pipe. Each 90-degree cleanout extension shall be extended from a Y-type fitting or other approved fitting of equivalent sweep. Each cleanout in piping 2 inches or less in size shall be so installed that there is a clearance of not less than 12 inches in front of the cleanout. Cleanouts in piping exceeding 2 inches shall have a clearance of not less than 18 inches in front of the cleanout. Cleanouts in underfloor piping shall be extended to or above the finished floor and shall be extended outside the building when there is less than 18 inches vertical overall, allowing for obstructions such as ducts, beams, and piping, and 30 inches of horizontal clearance from the means of access to such cleanout. No underfloor cleanout shall be located exceeding 20 feet from an access door, trapdoor, or crawl hole. Now let's talk venting. The vent pipes allow for outside air to go into the plumbing system. As water flushes down, the vent pulls air from the ceiling. Studer vents are not legal under UPC or in Minnesota. T's on vent pipes flow from top to bottom. Sizing: 4-inch pipe for very cold environments if the pipes go through a cold attic. 3-inch pipe. At least one vent must be 3 inches if the building sewer is 3 inches. This is out of Minnesota Code 4715-2330. Minimum size of stack vent or vent stack. To satisfy this, generally one of the toilet vents is 3 inches off of one toilet drain. 2-inch vent pipe. Toilet vents. 1.5-inch vent pipe. Kitchen sink, vent straight above the downpipe for the vent or the shower vent. There are several instructional articles on venting, some good videos, and the URLs are below. Here's some additional guidance on vents. Code is listed below. For each sanitary building sewer, at least one 3-inch vent stack or stack vent carried full size through the roof shall be installed. I have 3 plumbing vents, one at 3-inch diameter, 2 at 2-inch diameter each. Horizontal vent pipes can be level. No slope is required. In plumbing code, a pipe running at a 45-degree angle is the same as a vertical pipe. Vents should be installed level, though because of design of vent fittings and UPC codes. Vent T's can mount horizontal or vertical, tying into fixtures. Lavs and tub showers, vent pipe must be no more than 8 feet from the Y. Toilets, no more than 6 feet from the trap. Roof placement. Many folks have a preference to paint all vents black above the shingles. Vent pipe can't exit ridge or within 5 feet of the ridge. Might be an attic vent there. In my construction, we have no attic vents. Stay away from the soffit. They normally have air inlet vents also. We have no soffit or air inlet vents. Stay 10 feet away from the side of any window or opening. Stay 3 feet away from the top of any window or opening. Extension of vent pipes through a roof shall be terminated not less than 12 inches above the roof. Here's a diagram of a toilet vent. Note, no vent slope is required, even though shown in this diagram. URL for it is below. Here are the proper fittings for a toilet vent. Here are some venting diagrams that I found useful. You can see the different size pipes and how they tie together. Kitchen island sink venting. So, how can you possibly vent a kitchen island when there is no way for a vent pipe to go up through the ceiling? Nothing but open space above the island. Well, there's a wrong way and a right way. The wrong way. Historically, folks would use an air emittance valve, a Studer vent. They were introduced in 1986. They only handle negative pressure, not positive. Preferably, they would only be used in island kitchen sinks where a normal vent pipe is impractical. If legal to be used, they must be serviceable. They can't be in a wall. They must be visible. They are available in most hardware stores, but are prohibited in Universal Plumbing Code. If your state uses UPC, you need to vent your island through the roof. The right way. As you see, the vent from the kitchen sink goes as high as it can in the island, then down to the floor like all other drains. It then connects to a vent pipe over on the right, a minimum of 6 inches above the height it had above the sink. But because the vent has a low section, it needs to tee into the drain system at its low spot. It also needs a cleanout as it vents down from the sink so that you can clear the low section of the pipe if you need to. There's a good link below to a YouTube video on proper drain and vent for an island sink. So, for an island sink vent, the drain has vent in back. The vent pipe goes up under the cabinet as high as possible and then hooks back down. It then goes over to the wall and raises up to at least 6 inches above the flood level of the sink. It then joins into the main vent coming from the roof. There's a relief drain on the vent pipe at the low spot, just in case the vent backfills with water. And you have the sink drain pipe 12 to 14 inches from the floor. Minnesota code is listed below. I used QuickPlumb.com online software for the design. I imported the house blueprint PDFs to QuickPlumb for wall layout and distances. As I developed and refined my design, the software automatically created a parts and cost list for the project. You can see in this CAD drawing all of the elements of my drain, waste, and vent system. The septic tank is a big green ball on the left. The kitchen island, as described above, is in the center. My basement lift station is the orange cylinder on the right. You can see each of the elements of the design. The correct fittings are placed by QuickPlumb as shown. Last, you may need a sump pump in your basement. This needs to be in the design prior to pouring your slab. I elected to purchase a Zoller battery backup Wi-Fi sump pump. 2 pumps, one AC and one DC, in the hole. The Wi-Fi also gives you remote status and monitoring.